Hi, I'm Ryan from Amber. I know it's been a while. If you've been here waiting for a new video, thanks for sticking around. I didn't plan to disappear, but I did need a little bit of a reset. I spent the last several months just sort of writing, experimenting with new gear, and not really recording much of anything. But in doing all that, I sort of missed turning on the camera and sharing with you guys what I was doing. And more importantly, the little break helped me rediscover what I actually want this channel to be about. And one of those things is sharing ideas that inspire me that I think may inspire you. So with that, let's get into what I wanted to share with you today. And as always, if you want to skip all the preamble and jump around, the video is timestamped, so feel free to, I think I did that one already. It's been a minute. Feel free to skip to whatever section you want to, okay? Okay. Over the summer, my family took a trip and my wife suggested that I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, I've never been a big reader. I think before this, the last book I read start to finish was The Da Vinci Code, and that was in like 2005. So I was not too excited to read it, but she swore that I'd love it, so I gave it a shot. And I loved it. And I discovered that I actually enjoyed reading, so much so that I think I spent a good part of our trip to Hawaii trying to plan activities where I could just sit in a corner and read it. And when we got home, I needed a new book. So I asked my new book curator and she recommended Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this book. The characters really stayed with me, so much so that they found their way into my music, which is actually what I wanted to talk about today, using a story as the inspiration for a piece of music. Now, this isn't a new idea. Composers have been using different texts as inspiration for their compositions for centuries. Tchaikovsky used Romeo and Juliet, Liszt used Faust, Strauss drew from Don Quixote, Debussy, Rachmaninoff, Schoenberg, all used text to draw inspiration for some of their works. And even today, composers like Philip Glass and Max Richter draw from different themes from texts that inspired them. Now, I'd never really tried it before, mainly because I didn't really read. But after reading this book, I sort of understand the draw. When I write music, it's usually to express something. A lot of times that something is emotion. And I think that's why sometimes it can be difficult to write. Maybe you feel like you don't have anything necessarily to say musically. Other times, maybe there are no particular emotions inside you that are like begging to come out. It can lead to a block. Leaning on stories or novels or poems or any text can be a way to borrow some of that emotion. You can use it as a guide to tell the story musically in a way that resonates with you. And you can do it however you want. You could write a piece that tries to follow one character, or you could write a piece that tries to capture the general tone of a story, or focus in on one part of the story. As an example, let's take the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now, I could write a piece that tries to convey the feeling of the porridge being too hot, then too cold, then just right. Or you could try to write a piece that conveys Goldilocks' state of being, wandering through the woods alone and coming upon an empty house. Maybe you want to write a piece about how the bears find her at the end in their house and eat her. Full disclosure, I don't really remember how the story ends. Whatever the case, you can take a story and use it in multiple ways. And I like to keep in mind that it doesn't have to make sense to the listener if you don't want it to. You could use this simply as an idea generator to start writing. Or if you want to craft it so that it's clear to the listener what you're doing, that's fine too. There are no rules. So let's get back to tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and the way I'm going about writing this piece. Without giving away any spoilers, because if you haven't read it, I really do recommend it. It's pretty great. I wanted to represent the relationship between the two main characters and how they kind of grow throughout the story together. The characters start out as children and get more complex as they age, so I wanted to sort of represent that somehow. I also wanted each character to have their own part, and I wanted the piece as a whole to follow the whole story, not each individual plot point, but just sort of the complexity of their relationship. So I used different effects, different techniques, melodic and harmonic lines to represent that. A quick example is the character Sadie. It starts out with her as a child, but she has conflicting emotions, and they aren't huge, but they're there. So I'm using a line on the Moog grandmother for her, and to show her small but still like present conflict, I'm using a sample and hold to modulate the filter of the oscillator. Now, this gives her line a little bit of complexity. Now, at the end of the day, I may have added some movement to the filter anyways, without having read the story or trying to represent something, but the choice to do that was pretty fast and pretty apparent because I was trying to represent it. Now when I hear the filter open and close sort of sporadically, it makes me think of the story, it makes me think of her, and I like that. For Sam, the other main character, I wanted his line to weave with hers. I also wanted it to be the focus to start out, so he has a melodic line. His character is rich with emotion, so I decided to add some effects to his line. Using the chroma console, I used a combination of vibrato, pitch shifting, and reverb. My thought was, when you're young, small things seem really big, and it seems like you feel your emotions more deeply because most of the time it's the first time you're feeling them. So because of this, his line is pretty drenched in the effects chain. It's like 90% wet. As the piece goes on, I plan on having the effects chain represent how deeply he's feeling. So at some points, his melody on the poly D will be more dry, and some points will be more wet. Now the piano is the third character, and that's sort of the glue. The piece isn't finished yet, and I'm still working on how I want things to sort of unfold. I thought that explaining my process just a little bit may give you some ideas on how you may want to explore your writing. This way of approaching writing music has been really fun and a nice change of pace. I think the biggest takeaway for me is the fact that if I'm stuck on a part, or I don't know how I want a line to evolve or where I want to go with it, I have a roadmap of possible ideas. I can ask different questions like, how did that feel? Or simply, how would I represent X musically? It sort of gives you little jumping off points if you feel like you're stuck. I hope you found some of this useful. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, doing so really helps me out, and it's free. So, you know. Also, if you know someone who is a reader and writes music, maybe give this video a share with them. I'll be back posting weekly videos for the foreseeable future, so stay tuned for those. I feel like I have a lot of things pent up that I want to share with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to engaging with you guys in the comments. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I try to respond to every single one of them. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.